Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We're back to Chicken Box. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you're smiling. Hope you're not letting things get you down too much. Courtney Alexander, how are you?
I'm blessed. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be here. It's kind of gloomy today, but I'm working through it. How are you?
I'm fine. Is it gloomy like the weather's gloomy? Does the weather affect you?
Sometimes it depends. Like if it's snowing, yeah, but rain, I can get through that.
You are in Chicago. If you just tuned in, this is the Chicken Box, powered by the Afro American newspaper. We haven't seen each other since the 130th gala, which was an amazing celebration. I'll just talk about that just for half a second. If you missed it, it was a night of black excellence. Tommy Davidson had us laughing. All of the who's. We had Newsom, one of the reporters from Emmett Till, 95 years old. He wanted to stay all night. He partied all night with the Afro, and Kid Capri, of course, made us not want to go home, but want to go home because our feet were beginning to hurt. But anyway, today we're talking about black people versus monkey pox. And we've been hearing it. I don't know how many people have been digging into it, have been doing research. We have a guest that may be coming on. I'm hoping she comes on who experienced it and went through, and we want to hear her live testimony story about what it was like to go through that. But um, do we know a lot about monkeypox, Courtney, or is it just something that you hear and you're like, oh no, not another something that everybody has to mask up? Are we going to shut down? Is it a pandemic? Is it an epidemic? Where does this come from? Like, who starts all of these monkeypox? Do you know the origin of monkeypox?
So, I don't exactly know, but I did some research on it, and I guess it might have started around like 1980. And I know that it derives from like smallpox. So I know it's like in that family, and I know it's not like less severe than smallpox, but yeah, just from the looks of it.
Like, people don't even want to look at it. We're gonna pull some pictures in a minute. Dr. Draper will be coming back, and I'm hoping our guest Camille comes on today because I would like to have an eyewitness. But one of the funny things I was noticing as we prepare for this show is a lot of the images that were on monkeypox were on people of color, and I'm like, why are all of these images that people are using about monkeypox? Let me see if I can pull up something real quick. Um, on people of color, it seemed really weird, right? Strange that would be the case. Did you notice that, or is it just me?
No, I definitely noticed that as well. I noticed that, like you guys mentioned earlier, if it is like on another person who's like a person of a white person, I'm going to say. I noticed that they'll show like photos of children, but I don't really see it on adults. But if you go on Google Images, I see like a lot of images of like black people, like grown adults and stuff. So I'm not too sure like why, but I definitely noticed that.
Right. I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen, but using black people's images for monkeypox and media drew a big backlash in the World Health Organization because it's like, what are they really trying to say? Are they trying to say that black people and monkeys look alike? Are they trying to say it came from Africa? I mean, what is the narrative of this disease, and how are they spreading fear? Are they trying to spread fear in the black community? Are they trying to make? I mean, are they saying only black people get this disease? Like, what actually is going on here? So you guys can look that up later. But I'm like, I don't know much about it, but I do know that every image, because you kind of only don't even really want to look at it, but it's something that we have to begin to deal with and talk about and not ignore before it's upon the whole community. And it's like, oh well, where'd it come from? Like, because people, when COVID happened, it's like, well, I felt really sick the few months before they said it was out. So we need to be informed. We need to pay attention to what's going on. How you doing, Q? Q said it supposedly started in Africa. And something that I was watching earlier today from CNN said that it also started back in the 1950s. So I guess it's conflicting times when it started. The question is, how is it getting out of hand? Um, do we know why gay and bisexual? Let me see. Yeah, I get my glasses. Jory, how you doing? Do we know why gay and bisexual males are the ones most affected by monkeypox? I don't know if we've had the scientific answer for that yet. Have you heard, Courtney?
So I don't know of the scientific like answer on that, but I have seen that on social media. A lot of people are like shaming gay and bisexual people and kind of blaming them for the cause of monkeypox.
Right. It seems like that was what happened with HIV back in the day too. It kind of just starts and they're finding. I guess when the cases come, they're finding that maybe this particular group of people are reporting the disease. But you only get the narrative that they share. You know what I mean? Just like when they were doing COVID, they weren't saying how many people were living. They just kept saying how many people were dying or how many people will make it through. They always try. I guess most of the news typically is negative. It's not a lot of good news, right? So I guess the bad news is what the ratings and I would hate to say that people attract to bad news. Does that sound right? If you just tuned in, this is the Chicken Box, and if you didn't know this, if you're from Baltimore, right, you know what a Chicken Box is. It's 4 wings. Did you get one, Courtney, when you came to Baltimore? I know you're from Chicago, but
Yeah, so I tried something called mumbo sauce, and I'm like, what is mumbo sauce? Like, I'm used to mild sauce. So this lady gave me like the whole history of it, and I liked it. It was good.
mumbo sauce is usually DC centered.
Mhm.
So, were you in DC when you got? Where did you get mumbo sauce from?
I was like, so I was in the DMV area, so I was like on the border everywhere. So I was here, there. I don't think I was in
So yeah, so
DC.
you might have been closer to DC than you were Baltimore because ours is salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce, and some is a little box. It's called a chicken box. But here on the Afros, when we speak our truth or what we feel is our truth about issues going on. And we just thought, actually, on this week's front page story on the Afro, if you get the legacy edition as well as the digital edition, that is our front page story on monkeypox. But I wanted to dive deep into it. Dr. Draper is with us. Welcome back. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Courtney,
Fantastic.
impeccable.
Hello, how are you?
We're
I'm
right in the
good.
thick of just bringing this whole notion of monkeypox up, and I think our guest Camille may be coming in any minute.
Good.
Um,
That's good. Yeah, because
good.
we connected with Camille. There she is. She put
Hey
part of
Camille,
Hi,
hey
Camille.
how you
Camille
doing?
put part of
Hi.
her story up on IG. But the front page story that you were referencing for the Afro today, really, it's a misnomer for monkeypox. It did not start in Africa. 85% of the cases come out of Europe, but typical of how we're stigmatized, right? So there's a stigma surrounding it. Camille, I want you to talk about in a minute your experience. And it's not just it's not in Africa. It didn't come out of Africa, and that's why the World Health Organization wants to rename it. But let's hear from our guest, Camille. Welcome, glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to come on the Chicken Box on today.
Where are you located right now,
Like
Camille?
where am I at?
Yeah.
I'm at work.
Oh no, I mean what state? I'm sorry.
Oh, Marietta, Georgia.
Marietta, Georgia. Okay, I'm down in Atlanta, so I'm not too far from you.
No.
Welcome to the Chicken Box and to the powered by the Afro American newspaper, the third oldest black business in the country and the first oldest black business in Maryland, and that is 130 years we just celebrated. But we thought that because you were so open about this particular, I don't know, disease that's going around and what's happening in the community, that we would definitely want to hear. Do you know possibly when did you experience monkeypox?
July 11th is when I first started getting symptoms. July 16th is when the symptoms became real.
Did they have any clue of how you might have contracted this monkeypox, or do they still is it still up in the air like COVID, just floating around and you don't know how it gets you?
Monkeypox can remain dormant in your system for up to a month before you start to show symptoms. So it could be anything, but I know within this past month, I've only been to work and home. And um, I've had one partner for the past 3 years, and my partner is doing none of the such that everybody is trying to make it seem like how you can contract it. And the mask law was lifted. I don't wear gloves unless I'm in the kitchen, which is hardly ever. Not everybody washes their hands every 15 minutes, and I'm touching like my phone and like the dirty surfaces, and I'm touching my face, subconsciously transferring all these germs,
Absolutely. And a lot of people, what I had found, have been isolated, and so when you're around in certain areas, your immune system actually builds up because
Mm-hmm.
you build up some immunity to things that are out there, just regular things, not even COVID or monkeypox. But when you have been isolated, sometimes your immune system may be weaker than you think, and you think you're by yourself, but you're really weakening your immune system. That's why some people who used to be helicopter parents with their babies,
Yeah.
on the first one, that baby can't do anything, but the next baby, they picking up toys, they putting their fingers in their mouth, they're doing everything. And the first baby gets sick, the second baby doesn't have any have
Right.
any problems fighting off whatever it is, dirt or whatever it is. But we're glad that you decided to come on. This is
I want to ask Camille. Camille, first of all, how are you feeling?
Oh, so much better.
So much better. And
Yeah.
so when you first contracted the disease in July, what did it look like? What were some of your symptoms? I mean, if you were telling somebody else about it, what would you tell them to watch out for?
Fever and headaches. No, fever, nausea, and vomiting and diarrhea is the signs. Is the first sign. An ongoing symptom is fatigue, joint pain, muscle pain, chills, constant fevers, all of that.
Well, it sounds awful. It also sounds like there were a lot of other things that, like COVID was like fever and chills and headaches and fatigue and all of that. And so, but
It's really scary.
I can only imagine. And there's also some kind of outbreak, right, on your body. There's some kind of.
I don't know if you can. They're all scars now. I don't know if you can tell, but
Yes, I see a little bit of it. Yeah. So were those things painful? Were they like blisters? What were they like?
they started off looking like pimples,
Okay.
and they turned into like, the best way I can describe it is like Cheerios, little Cheerios on your body. It's weird. It's disgusting. Like it's not appealing. Anybody that has, like, when I've advocated on my social media, I always put a trigger warning because a lot of people have trypophobia because it really triggers it.
Okay. All right. So that's how we were introduced to you, Camille, through your social media. So talk a little bit about your decision to really go not just public, but to just put it all out there.
Me being the first in 50 people to get monkeypox, imagine there still isn't much information on monkeypox now because there's no cure and doctors don't know what to do. But imagine a month ago, me looking, things up, trying to find different information about it. Couldn't find anything. You don't find comfort in knowing that there's no cure and the doctors can't do anything for you. So I wanted to be our voice because I'm like, since I'm paving the way, like, for other people, that get it, if this turns into a pandemic, because I had the CDC at my bedside and personally, like, texting me, I had to update them, picture updates, symptom updates, my entire healing process. And they told me that, you're paving the way for people that contracted, so we know more. Like, how do you think, we know about AIDS when the first 10 people contracted AIDS and stuff like that. And I just, it makes you feel so, you don't feel confident because it makes you ugly. Like, I'm not going to say it makes you ugly, but you don't recognize yourself in the mirror. When it's 4 stages, when you hit stage 2, you don't know who you are anymore. And you're putting all these topicals on and this oatmeal and everything, just over the counter stuff, hoping that you don't scar, or hoping that, it goes away, and you don't know really. Nobody knows.
Wow, that is something. So you said there are 4 stages, and come on, Courtney, Kevin, jump in. But Camille, what do those stages look like? So did it take about a month to?
Yes. So the healing process is 2 to 4 weeks. Some people are fine in a week. Some people are fine in 2. Some people are fine in 3, and some people take the whole 4. It took me 3.5. The first stage is the warning, the nausea, the vomiting, the diarrhea, the chills. The second stage is the appearance, the bumps popping up, and it's just looking like pimples at this point. The third stage is it scabbing up, and that's so painful. Oh my gosh. People ask me all the time, rate the pain from 1 to 10, 87 out of 10, and I'm not even being dramatic. Like, you feel your face like just almost, I don't know how to describe it. The pain is just, it's excruciating. Like, I had to pop like 5 Tylenols like every hour. Like, it was horrible. The fourth stage is when they start to scab up and the scabs start to fall off. And that when you scab up, it doesn't mean that you're not contagious as of yet. You have to wait for all of your scabs to fall off. So whether or not some people don't scar, God bless them. I scarred. I have makeup on right now. I scarred real bad. It doesn't make me feel confident, but I try to be our voice. I try for other people, because this is what we're afraid of. Everybody's afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
COVID, they didn't waste any time to put us on lockdown. And people still wanted to go outside when they're even amidst COVID. But something like this, people are like, oh my gosh, this can make me ugly. I'm not going outside. I'm like, oh, okay, really? COVID kills. So does this, but it's less likely. But because it affects your appearance, you want to listen and not go outside.
Uh-oh. Fact alert. If you just tuned in, this is Black People versus Monkeypox. We have Camille Seaton from the Atlanta, Georgia area, who has had the courage to step up and step out and be our voice as being one of the first 50 to even not only contract it, but to go through it and survive and come out to tell her story, because a lot of people survive things and don't share. And so we applaud you for the courage to share. How old are you, Camille?
I am 20 years old.
20 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 6 children, so you fall right in there somewhere. So you would be like a daughter to me.
I have a little baby.
Oh, okay. How old your baby?
She's 3.
3. So, I mean, that had to be a big concern during that time. Were you able to isolate really when you had it?
Yeah, as soon as luckily I caught it when it wasn't contagious as of yet, but when I realized something was off, like, I sent her to my grandparents' house and I said, hey, before I know, until I know what this is, can you please take her for a couple of days with the boot? I went to the doctor thinking that it was nothing and I was just gonna, come back and go pick her up, but I had to quarantine away from her for almost a month.
Oh wow! I mean, that in itself is,
on top of all of the emotional and the backlash that I was getting, because I was coming out about it like during when I had it. So people were sending me death threats and coming to my job and like asking for me and like throwing stuff. It was just crazy. And not having my baby on top of all of that was like, I think that was I was at the lowest point that I've ever been.
Wow, wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit. So people were making death threats to you?
Yeah, in my social medias and my comments, because when people don't understand something and people are scared, so they project their fear on you maliciously. So they were saying rude things like, get out of Georgia, it's too close to home, you're the one giving it to us, or, you know, telling me that they'll kill me and they'll come find me and mutilate the problem. And it's just nasty stuff, nasty stuff.
That's terrible, Camille. On top of everything else you were already going through, that had to make you feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
Camille, you are you sure you're 20? You sound like you're about 50 in wisdom, because you said these people were projecting on you. Most people can't handle that, and they won't have the strong mental to really withstand that type of pressure, but yet you pressed on, and we applaud you at the Afro American newspaper. So we had, I guess, a fellow Gen Zer reach out to you, Courtney. Courtney, I know you've had some time being our Gen Zer and one of our newest members in the Afro. What kind of questions went through your mind as you prepared for Camille today?
So, after you described that, like, I'm so sorry that you had to endure that. Like, that is not okay. So, like, how did that experience affect your overall mental and emotional health?
I had to go to therapy because on top, like as I said, not having my daughter was really, really rough, really, really rough. Um, Rougher than the whole experience, but opening my phone and having to scroll past the negative comments to get to the positive ones, the people that are actually asking questions, the people that actually want to know more and learn. It was just, it was getting too much, you know, and I had to turn off my phone sometimes. You know, somebody actually found out where I lived and came to my house. So that was something.
Came to your house in a good way, or came to your house in a bad?
In a bad way. They threw eggs at my house. Yeah.
People are getting carried away. I mean, they anyway. Now, before I get all the way upset, and I had to come over to you, I'm right down the street, Camille. So if you need some help, I'll send you something offline. But Black people versus monkeypox, one of the first 50 to contract it, and one of the boldest human beings that I know right now to come out against it, to tell their story. Camille has been through monkeypox. We heard from Dr. Draper, and this is the front page story in the Afro, that it did not originate in Africa. Why does everything originate in Africa? Yeah, well, a lot of great things originated in Africa, but everything bad that happened to us did not originate in Africa.
Okay.
And why they tell that narrative, and when you even, because some of the pictures are really disturbing, right? But when you go to Google these photos, 95% of them are on people of color. And it's safe to say that it's not a disease that discriminates on your race. Camille, have you found anybody? Is there any kind of group out there of people who have come together to support each other, who are going through this, or who have gone through this?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that have had monkeypox, new friends that have had monkeypox that's reached out to me. And we're in a group chat, you know, we're all supporting each other. We send each other the screenshots of the mean things that people say to us and everything. And we just kind of lift each other up because, I mean, we know what we did or how we contracted the virus. We're not listening to the stigmas, or we can't control everybody. We all went viral over monkeypox. We you know, thousands of hundreds of people seen our stuff, and we can't just a lot of people are stubborn and stuck in their ways, and we just have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
absolutely. Dr. Draper, you look.
I was going to say, Camille, that was, Kevin was talking about wisdom. Impeccable was talking about wisdom beyond your years, and you said something about this. But really, when you decided to go public with your diagnosis and what you were going through, how early on did you decide to do that? And what can you remember what your motivation was, or how you were feeling around that time? Because you had to still be feeling pretty sick too.
I was in the 4th stage. I was still scabbing up. My scabs didn't fall off yet, but I'd been posting here and there about it, so my original following, like my friends, knew I had it, But the post that went viral, it was just one night. I was just like, hey, I don't look how I looked 3 weeks ago. Let me just post my progress. I went to sleep, I kid you not, with 12 comments from my friends, from my followers, and woke up to 12,000.
That's amazing. So you are an influencer in your own right. So we talked about the negative comments. What are some of the positive things? I mean, people can look at your IG, but what kind of warmed your heart? What encouraged you?
Let's see if our producer can pop up your IG while we're at it, and those who have something positive to say, there it is. Follow Camille's journey.
I post mainly about my journey on my TikTok.
Okay.
But I do have a highlight on my Instagram. But a lot of people DM me and say thank you. A lot of people ask me and they want to know more. I'm so overjoyed by people that want to know information, and a lot of moms DM me about their kids getting it. That's always stressful because I feel like no kid's immune system can handle what monkeypox brings on to the it attacks the immune system, and your body has to use everything in its power to fight it off in that month that you're going to be suffering through it.
You sound like you're interested in the medical field, Camille. What's your ultimate career goal? You might be there already. I don't know and I don't need to know where you work, but
no, I'm. Oh, you are okay.
I'm in a room that if you don't move, the light goes off. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I work at racetrack, but my career field is a nurse. So yeah, it's kind of.
Well, you'll be a good nurse, Camille.
I'm gonna try.
You have a lot. You have a lot of compassion. Is your TikTok handle the same as your Instagram? Was it different?
No, it's I made you scream. No.
I made you the letter U, or I made you scream that way.
Spelled it out.
Okay.
I made you scream.
I made okay. All right. Maybe we can put that up on the screen. Our producer. I made you scream. All right. And was that related to the monkeypox, or you already had that handle?
I already had it. Yes.
Okay.
TikTok is taking over the world, I'll tell you right now. Man, thank everybody for tuning in. If you have a question, we have Jewel, we have Angie, we have Q, we have Jewelry, we have Byron, and thanks for sending some love to Camille for having the courage to come through, because this is something that you might be hearing about it, but you're not even looking into it yourself.
Right.
To see, is it a hoax? Is this something else they're making up? Are they trying to put us into a scare? Are they trying to affect the economy? Just trying to deal with inflation. What actually is the narrative? And we learned today that, where did you say, Dr. Draper, it started? 85%.
Well, I just said that most of the cases, 85% of the cases are not coming from Africa. And so the myth is that it started in Africa, but there's no empirical evidence to say that. So the World Health Organization, the person in charge of that, who's a person of color, is saying, let's not even call it monkeypox. That in itself is stigmatizing, just to have that as a name. And then, as we've said, to have so many Black and brown images associated with that, that's just feeding into a stereotype, and that's stigmatizing. And those are the kinds of things that have been going on for years and years and years and years. And we don't have the Camilles who are speaking out, because a lot of times when we get sick, no matter what kind of illness it is, we try to hide it.
Why is that, you think? Camille, you want to answer that question? Or anybody? Courtney, why do people, when they go through, even if they're people who believe in prayer and that the prayer of the righteous can avail much, they tend to hold it in and don't even get that extra prayer power? What do you think?
It can come out of like embarrassment, because sometimes, like, people in society judge you. So you don't want people to know what you're like going through, because you don't want to be judged. And I guess some people are like more private than others, but I think it really comes down to like people shaming you, like that negativity that Camille talked about. You don't want people to look down on you for something that you necessarily can't control. So it's better to like hide it and hold it back.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
So the shaming is the big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing. And then Camille said something else really important that people are ashamed of. Camille said not only did she take care of her physical body, but she got some therapy for her emotional piece too. And that's another whole chicken box, because people will shy away from going into therapy as if that is a plague or something. But Camille, I heard you say that therapy was good for you.
It was. I mean, I'm used to being bullied all my life, you know. So at first it was just, I mean, I was like, I told myself, hey, it's not, you know, my whole middle school or my whole high school class, or, you know, or the whole school. It's the whole world. So that was a lot to take in.
Right. Well, for someone who's, like you said, used to being bullied, it sounds to me like you're standing you're standing firm for yourself and speaking for yourself.
Of course, I've always had to defend myself, always.
Okay.
Always.
So according to the CDC, as of August 22, it's been 16,603 cases in the U.S. reported. Total deaths 0 in the U.S. And on global cases, just for numbers, it's 45,500 at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if anybody knows this, but there are 2 strains. The strain that's out here isn't deadly, but the strain that's in Africa is deadly. So that's why there are more deaths out there than there is here, because this strain that everybody's getting in these states is not deadly. But although it is true that once you have monkeypox, you can't get it again, you're immune to the strain that's out here. I can contract the second strain. So yeah.
absolutely. If you just tuned in, we have Camille, monkeypox survivor and champion, who's been on social media sharing. That's how we met her at the Afro, and reached out, and she was willing to come and share a story. She's 20 years old, living in the Atlanta area, with a beautiful, you say daughter?
Yes.
With a beautiful daughter. And she was able to have some wisdom to navigate through the situation earlier, to isolate, and to tell and warn other people, being one of the first 50 in the U.S. to get it, to pay attention, to start doing some research. Follow Camille, because Camille probably can connect you with a lot of the information. We put her IG up earlier. We put her TikTok up. Even if you're not on TikTok, go ahead and get yourself an account and follow Camille. because
I have an account, right?
Yeah, I have one too. But look, the information spreads so fast that you have to keep up with this new generation, because they're going to get you some information and the truth, because it's not just, what did they say, gay men. It didn't start in Africa. I guess they say the name pox comes.
It started in South Africa. It did start in South Africa in 1947. This virus is a different variation. As Camille said, there are 2 different variations. And so there's some education that goes along with this as well.
Right. And they named it pox because it was similar to smallpox. And they said most people it was more people under 50 that were contracting it who didn't have the smallpox vax, which may have eliminated from the people who are over 50 possibly contracting monkeypox because of that. Now, Courtney, have you heard of the smallpox vaccine?
Yes. I actually watched a documentary on it before, and after they pretty much like eliminated the virus after everyone got vaccinated, I believe 3 countries have like a frozen sample of it. Don't quote me on it, but I think the US, France, and Russia, they still have like a sample of it frozen for some reason.
Yeah, I heard that as well, Courtney. And so, Camille, I know that you are at work. I see you moving around. And it's very generous of you and your employer to let you do this for an hour. I don't know if this is your lunch hour or not.
I ain't say she let me do it now. That's why.
Courtney's
Okay,
in Florida right now. Don't tell anybody.
yeah. We only have 665,000 followers on this platform, so we'll be sure not to tell anybody. But Camille, when you first got sick, what did you think it was? What did it feel like to
It
you? What did
honestly, it looked like, okay. So the night that I got sick, around 1:30ish, 2 a.m., I had crab legs. So, but it was homemade crab legs. I cooked it well. Like it was just weird as to why I was getting sick. Hold on. Oh, my boss just called me.
oh
Well, Camille
Okay,
might
but
have to
yeah.
go. If you have to go, that's fine, Camille.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me explain this to you though. So, I was sick and I was throwing up and I was like having diarrhea and stuff, and it was weird because it was like I I eat crab all the time, and I cook it well. I went to bed 2 a.m. An hour after 3 a.m. got up out of my bed. I couldn't even get to the bathroom, and I was like, okay, this is weird. This is way too weird. So I was throwing up and I was vomiting and I was like having diarrhea at the same time, bucket and on the on the toilet at the same time. And then the next day, that's when all those bumps just appeared on my face, and I was like, bro, you know?
that was fast.
Those are some of the symptoms. If you're going through any of these, you need to see a physician immediately. You need
Yeah.
to isolate, and you need to. Is there a vaccine for this
Yeah, there
strain?
is there is a vaccine, but it's not in Georgia yet. It's in like Los Angeles, like it's in other. I don't. I've heard from like at least only two people that's gotten the vaccine, and that it's where it's available. It's not available in Georgia yet. So all we can do is take the proper precautions, which is like gloves, mask, closing, like closed skin, like as much as possible. It's about to be cold, you know.
Q also in Atlanta said you need 4 doses of the vaccine.
Yep.
Right. So the vaccine is, the vaccine is in short supply. We have some here in Maryland, but not nearly enough. And they were talking about, and I don't know how true this is, diluting the vaccine. I don't know what that does, but yeah, it's really a problem.
Absolutely. So listen, from the Afro family, we are with you, Camille. You are our champion
Thank
uh,
you.
for life. We will be praying for you, and we praying for your courage to continue to help other people as they experience and possibly avoid this new, I don't know what to call it, but this new virus that has popped up. So we may have lost Camille. She's 20 years old, and she joined us on the Chicken Box today. I think we're going to do another part. We're going to reach out to some of our friends in the medical community to just get some more information. But we wanted to at least get on the box today to say, wake up, people, and pay attention to what's happening. Don't just brush it off as a joke because it's real. It's over here in the U.S. floating in the air. I don't know how. Listen, I don't know how any of these things happen, but you need to be aware and you need to get the facts on the pox. It sounds funny, but it's not funny at all.
No, it's not funny at all. And Camille's
No,
a
why
real
they
life.
call it monkey?
That's a good question. That's what they want to rename. Okay, so they just originally it was for something else, but they just continue to go with it. And so I'm reading now in the scientists said it should be called the HMPXV because it's a human version of the monkeypox virus. So I think it was transmitted in monkeys and they kept it there, but this is the human version. And so then that's why they're talking about you need to change, the name needs to be changed. Because the
Absolutely.
name in and of itself is stigmatizing just to have that name. Just because of, as you said at the beginning, Impeccable, the racist affiliation with Black people and monkeys or apes, or but all people came from that, according to those who study such things.
Lisa, I see your question. Might have to watch the replay because I don't remember her exact answers, and I don't want to quote right. It was like, what are the signs of the virus, of this virus?
She
did say, she just said
she
that.
did say, she said vomiting, diarrhea, she said headache, she said muscle pain and other pains in the body, symptoms like I don't know, like COVID, like the flu. The
Headache.
difference, headaches.
She said it could lie dormant for a month.
Mhm.
Is what she said as well.
Right.
And
the difference is the bumps coming out.
Right, and she said that the blisters came like sizes of Cheerios.
Right.
And she was, and you could possibly throw up and have diarrhea at the same time. So any of those things, call your doctor immediately. We're praying that the vaccine will come to all of the whole world immediately, as fast as they can, I guess, make it effective.
Well, Impeccable, I pray people take it. We got vaccine we're throwing away from COVID.
Well, one of the good points Camille made is she said, now that you have something that makes you look bad, people want to take a vaccine all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
they're more concerned about their appearance than their health.
Right, that puts your priorities in order, doesn't it?
Hey, and that was from a 20-year-old, and she's looking at people like this, like, hello, like it's something out here that could, she made the analogy. She said people are living through monkeypox but dying from COVID, but yet they don't want to take the vaccine anyway. I just had another booster the other day. I was sleepy. It was hard. It was hard getting up. Anyway, I don't know if that's off the subject. But look, we're not gonna belabor the point. This has been the Chicken Box. We're gonna just go through final words really quick. Actually, before that, let's just tear in gear real quick. We had the 130th celebration. I don't know how many of you were able to make it or did make it or saw it online, but we celebrated the Afro-American newspaper for 130 years of informing, educating, and inspiring people around the world. And our friends at Johns Hopkins did send a tribute. So I wanted to share that first, and then we can get into final words.
A lot has changed over the last 130 years. There have been many major victories in social justice and important scientific advancements. Today, we celebrate another milestone, the 130th anniversary of the Afro News, the oldest family-owned, continuously published Black newspaper in the country. Established in 1892, the Afro's mission to speak on racial equality and economic advancement for Black Americans has not changed. Just over the last 2 years, the Afro has been an important voice in covering major events like the COVID-19 pandemic and what many are referring to as a second civil rights movement. This has been a difficult time, and having a trusted voice like the Afro covering developments has been invaluable. We are proud to partner with and join the Afro in celebrating its 130th anniversary. We look forward to the next 130 years of the Afro and their continued commitment to the care of our mutual communities.
So Kevin, Impeccable, we can't hear you. You're on mute. You're on mute, Mug.
Thank you, Johns Hopkins, for tuning in. I was trying not to get any feedback from the video playing, but man, Bobby Blount, how are you? We missed you at the gala.
So Impeccable, you played that video, but I just want our viewers to know, if they weren't at the gala, we're gonna post over these next couple of weeks all of the video tributes we received from Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Gail King. Come on, Courtney, help me. Who else was that? The mayor of Baltimore, former Mayor Kurt Schmoke. There were so many video. Valerie Jarrett, Jim Clyburn, Kwesi Mfume, Ben Cardin. I mean, just so many wonderful.
Courtney Alexander, you know.
I think Courtney's face was up there for the We Are Afro video. I do believe I saw her face there too. But it was a wonderful tribute. I just want to thank those who support us. You know, we say for less than the cost of 2 Uber Eats. But you know what? I thought about that when I say that to myself. Sometimes I spend, y'all might not do this, but I spend more than $40 sometimes on things that, you know, it's only one shoe. It's not even a whole pair. So for $40 a year, you can get the digital edition. For those who prefer to have print, for $100 a year, you can get print and digital. And guess what? It's like a 2-for-1. You can give it away. And because it's our 130th birthday, you can now get 2 years for $130. That's 2 years. That's almost a 40% discount. Why are we doing that? Because we know that our product is excellent and we want you to be a part. And we also need your news. We need your news. So you have things that are happening. Courtney is on our digital team and she wants your news so she can post it. And we want your news so we can post it and print it. So that's my plug for, but thank you. I want to thank our readers. I want to thank our sponsors. And I want to thank the Chicken BOXX viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Now I'm off the box. That's my final word.
My final word is it's time to smile. It's time to wake up. And it's time to be conscious about your surrounding. It's not time to go into panic, but it is time to get the information. It is time to share the information. And it is time to know where the information that's for you comes from and where the story really starts, and to separate the false from the truth, or the truth from the, you know, things that they're just trying to spin us into a circle with a blindfold on and try to get us to smack the piñata. It's not going to work. So we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep giving you the information, and hopefully it will encourage you to seek the other information you need and to be on the lookout for this new virus that's beginning to hit the country, and then how we can help and how you can help somebody else. So smile today. If you haven't smiled at all, it makes you feel better. You just feel better for smiling. Courtney, I don't see you smiling. I feel the screen moving, but I don't see you smile. There it is. There it is. Okay, final words, Courtney. Matter of fact, I represent the Gen X. Courtney, this is a multi-generation, represents the Gen Z. So final words, and then we're going to be off, and we're going to get a doctor on, one of our friends of the Afro, to talk about some of the scientific parts of the monkeypox.
My final words are actually about the cookbook. So the cookbooks are in, and once again, we appreciate all of you for tuning into the broadcast. So we are announcing that we are doing a giveaway. So please share this by tagging others, and we would appreciate if you also comment. So if you comment or share, we will be selecting someone random from the comments. Please send us your name and address, and we plan on giving away 3 cookbooks, so 1 per week.
Absolutely, and tune in. We're starting to cook live, y'all. I'm trying to create the smell-o-vision. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but we're doing live cooking. Just go to our Facebook page. If you can't catch us live, go back and look at some of these fantastic these dishes. It makes you hungry, especially around lunchtime. Get the cookbook.
Look at that. Spinach and artichoke. I said I was finished. Stuffed salmon, roasted asparagus, and sweet potato souffle. I want to say something about this cookbook. I have my copy. I'm not just saying this because I'm CEO of the Afro. It is a beautiful, beautiful cookbook. And what I really liked about the cookbook, some of those recipes are dated like 1925, 1926, Courtney and Impeccable, before any of us were born. And they use some terms that we don't even know what they are. So they have to explain at the bottom what that means. But it goes from the early 1900s with some recipes all the way through to some air fryer recipes as well. There are 130 recipes, right, for our 130th birthday. And the cookbook is $30. Y'all get the theme on the 30. But it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cookbook. Job well done. To Let me shout out Dana Peck. Let me shout out the Reverend Marie Braxton. Just a job well done, and to everybody who contributed a recipe to that cookbook. I feel a part 2 coming for the cookbook.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a digital version. I think we can just put a cookbook because we like to read the ingredients, but it'd be nice to just hear them and see them at the same time, and you can pause the video and do a little bit. Listen, for those who are meal planners and running out of things, and you've oodled and noodled a couple more times, it is now time. You got 130 different choices to mix it up and get your cooking on. Yo, let's start cooking again.
Did you say oodle and noodle? Okay.
Don't worry. That's something quick. Sometimes when you're just tired, y'all are having oodles and noodles tonight. That's what you're having tonight.
Well, let me let you in on this a little bit. If you purchase a cookbook, each cookbook has a code in the back for the digital version at no extra cost.
Oh, for real?
You heard it here first. Yep.
All right.
There's a page in the back of that cookbook that says if you want it digitally, so it's a single-use code, but it's for you as the purchaser of your cookbook.
See, we're in the future, y'all. Yep. Talk to you later. Until next week, God willing, have a wonderful day. Share the information. Bobby B, Daniel, my Jules. We have a jewelry store. Both Jules were on here today. Q, Lisa, and anybody else who didn't leave a comment, but you did get the information, whether you're watching it live or on a replay. God bless you, and we will prayerfully
show some love and show some love to Camille. Please show some love to Camille.
Right, like her page. Let's get it to a million likes so that she can help spread this story. Thank you, Camille. If you're watching the replay, that's her IG, y'all.
And then she's also on TikTok.
What did she say? I made you scream. Right.
Right. I made you scream.
There it is. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.